Yes, sir. Tresho9, everybody. What is going on, everybody? What is the deal? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are doing a sound check. And ooh, see? Good thing I did a sound check on that. I'm not even connected. Oh my goodness. Today is Monday. Today is October the 7th, 2024, and it's a Monday today. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter to me. You can call it Motivational Monday. You dig? It doesn't matter to me though what you call it. It doesn't matter what I call it. Let's disconnect from the AirPods. Let's see what we got cracking off here. Yes, we got an exciting day. Today was exciting for me. Today was full of revelations. It was full of meaning and power today. Every day is the same in that regard. But when I think about it and when I talk about it, it's new, right? Because this day has never been, this moment that you're watching right now has never been, it never happened before. You think it's happened before, but it has not. I'm looking nice and shiny. It's all good. We come as we are. You dig? We come as we are, and we keep it pushing, baby. Today is about leading from love. As a man, as a person who is in a relationship, as a person who is married, as a person who is passionate about seeing other people in committed relationships, marriages, and such, and serving each other, serving God, serving the higher power. Jah, big up. That is what we're passionate about here at Tresho9. And we're going to do an exercise before we get it really cracking and get off into the topic of today of love and leading from love and leading from power as a man. We guide the relationship. We are responsible for the relationship, not because we have all the power, but we seek the power from the Most High, and that entity called God gives us that power so that we can do what we need to do in order to fulfill the things that we need to fulfill through love. And there's so much, and I'm not going to discuss and get every single topic nook and cranny covered today, but we will definitely dive into it. And I'm in the middle of a pretty big research. I'm and this is nothing new, groundbreaking in terms of the research, right? Because the information is out there already. Information is out there for you to grasp if you wanted it. A lot of people don't want it. A lot of people are just very happy with just what they know, and they stick with that, and that is totally fine. Totally fine. Do it for love. I guess that's what I entitled it in my notes here. Do it for love. And that's just what it is. You know, we do it for love, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I want to get into some meditation as I pull everything up and do a sound check, and everything is looking beautiful. You're amazing. You dig? You're powerful. You're strong. You're mighty. And it's not because of your strength. It's because of Jehovah's strength that you are where you are, and you can actually be in communion with your woman is because of this power, because of this knowledge, because of this truth. We're just a little bit slow on this, but what we're going to do here, I can explain what we're going to do. We're going to do a thing called getting into, we're going to do the misses. And the misses is basically just a small kind meditation, if you will, to ready ourselves and cleanse ourselves from all the negativity. It is called misses. It is an acronym. It begins with the letter M, which stands for melting or melt, and then R is for release, and then the S is for soften. And a lot of times, even before battle, we want to make sure that we are prepared and we are ready. And we got the music going just to set the tone right now, if you will. And I'm just doing a sound check right now. But if you want to prepare right now, getting in a comfortable space, this is a guided meditation. Getting in a comfortable space, a relaxed space. Getting in a space, you might be doing, the dishes, or you might be eating, or you might be getting ready to go to bed. I'm not really sure. Maybe you're just waking up. I'm not really sure what's going on with you, but you know what's going on with you. But get in that space to receive. Close your eyes, get relaxed. Get in a space where you can receive and get comfortable, whatever that looks like for you. We're going to start with just a little bit of breathing exercise. We want to inhale through the nose as much as we can. Inhaling through the nose. I want to hold that. And exhale through the mouth. We want to do that a few times. Go ahead and do that as you prepare and as you get yourself ready. Today is the day. Today is the day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep breathing, closing your eyes. Breathing in through the nose. Just continue to do that. Continue to breathe. I want you to feel your body. Focus on that physical part of you. And as your eyes are closed, and as you continue to breathe, you're going to inhale through the nose. Hold it there for just a few seconds, and then you're going to exhale out of your mouth. And just relax your body. So we're going to use this acronym here. So allow your anxiety, allow your stress, allow your tension to melt all the way down till it's almost heavy, until your body kind of feels heavy and relaxed. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. If you're in that proper space and you can do that, go ahead and do it. Just want you to envision and see yourself with the stress of the world just melting off like hot wax, melting down all the negativity that you're thinking. Melt. You can say a prayer if you want to, however you want to do that. It's really up to you. And then you want to release. You want to release the negative talk that you've been giving yourself today. If you've done any sort of negative talk about yourself or about anybody else, you want to release that. Give it away. Cast it away. Cast your care. Cast it. Throw it out. Release. The doubt. Release the doubt. Release the doubt. Yeah, there it is. Sometimes you got to go back to the beginning. Something comes in, you got to let it melt. Like a duck, like a water on a duck's back, it just rolls right off. Just melts right off. And you want to soften. Be kind to yourself. Soften those thoughts you have towards yourself and towards others. My purpose is love. My calling is love. My body is love. My words are love. My thoughts are love. My actions are love. My strength is rooted in love. Mark the warrior is love. Yeah. Continue to breathe. That ha that comes out when you exhale, you empty yourself. You empty yourself so that you can be filled again. So that you can be filled by Jehovah, that you can be filled again by God, the Most High. That you can be filled again. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Release that tension. Release it, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Nope, don't do that. Those thoughts, see that thought right there, boom, let it go. Release. Soften. Now you have arrived here, and now for a reason. You're here for a reason. Believe that. understand that, know that you are here for a reason. You dig? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Yes. 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 You don't even need to push. It's not about pushing. It's not about forcing. It's not about that, actually. What it's about is about melting, releasing, and softening so you're ready. You've arrived here and now for a reason. You are now ready to receive all that is coming your way. You have emptied yourself so that you can be filled again, and your cup will runneth over to be a blessing to others. Welcome, 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 welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the vibe. Welcome to the family. Here on the #1 relationship podcast in the neighborhood, yo. Yes, I am your host. Yes, I am your host. That Martian from Mars, baby. The Martian from Mars coming to Earth, bringing you that good ism, that positive vibe. Mr. Mark Anthony Augustine, what is up? Somebody make some noise. Yes, sir. Let's get into it. Yes. How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? You feel the shift? Do you feel the shift? Do you feel the shift? I feel the shift. Ah, man. It has begun. It has begun. It has begun. Today is the day. It's the only day that we have really right now, to be honest with you. You heard me. We got more life coming up. And we're just going to jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to the way of the master. I'm sorry. The way of the superior man. I was reading this introduction. Let's see if I can get this here. The Way of the Superior Man. Once again, it's book. Go get it. Amazon. You can get it everywhere, anywhere and everywhere that books are sold and distributed. And it doesn't matter if you're a man, you're a woman. It definitely is a very powerful book regarding yourself and the relationship you have with yourself. It's regarding the relationship you have with God. It's regarding the relationship you have with each other. If you are a couple with somebody, if you are linked up with somebody, you are in a committed relationship with somebody, and that's somebody that you actually love and care for. This is what this is about. And so today, obviously, it's talking about men, but you can flip that however you need to flip that. Because it's interesting because you could be a woman reading this. I don't really know how to interpret it that way, but yeah, I'll leave that up to you. This book is a guide for a specific kind of newly evolved man, and it is regarding. I got this book because I was on a journey to go to a higher level. And every day, in every way, it gets better and better and better in every way, every day, in every way, it gets better and better and better. And I wanted to evolve. I wanted to rise to higher heights within myself and to God. I wanted to have a deeper understanding and deeper relationship. And that is about Tresho9, the relationship podcast, is about that relationship. And I think that, and I actually believe and know that without the relationship with God, I am nothing. Nor can I do anything. Nor can I do anything without His power. Regardless about what I'm doing, it doesn't matter. And so this is something of it's we're evolving, we're changing, we're growing as men, because I think it's a lost art. This man is unabashedly. That's a crazy word. Unabashedly, which means without embarrassment or shame. A lot of men live in embarrassment and shame. That masculine power sometimes can be shameful, and it can be embarrassing, um, because there's so many different things that are out there right now in the world that are trying to put out that fire. You dig? And so we're here to not be ashamed, and we're here to raise the fire, to turn up the heat, and to be continuing the masculine. He is living on his purpose. This new masculine man is living on his purpose on a daily basis. He's waking up with a purpose. Doesn't matter how he feels or what his emotions are. He's living on purpose for the purpose that God has downloaded into him, coming straight down the head, all the way down to the soles of his feet. This man is confident that he is directed. He is living his chosen way of life with a deep integrity and humor and honor, and is sensitive. He is spontaneous, and he's spiritually alive in the Spirit. The Spirit is the one that's guiding him. The Holy Spirit is the one that's guiding and going through him. Ooh, you feel that? I felt that. If you didn't, you might be dead. With the heart committed committed to discovering and living his deepest truth. Right? Again, what are we talking about? We're talking about Jehovah. We're talking about Yahweh. We're talking about God. And when we get into this gift, it's crazy. We're going to jump into it. But I want to read some things to you, brethren. Some things to you. Where am I here? I done lost my space. There you go. Do it for love. Number 9. 9 is my favorite number. The way a man penetrates the world should be the same way he penetrates his woman, not merely for personal gain or for pleasure, but to magnify love, openness, and depth. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. You dig? I'm here. We are here as men to not just want and seek pleasure. Those things will come if we are on our purpose. The fact that you are on your purpose, the fact that you are consistently walking in that purpose, you will find pleasure in that. You will find pleasure in that. Guaranteed. Guaranteed you will find pleasure in this. So before the podcast, actually, I have a talk with my wife. We sit down right here, right behind this camera, and we talk. A lot of times I do most of the talking. It's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? That's just that's what our dynamic is. And I cast vision. I cast purpose in this talk. If we need to get centered, we get centered. What's missing? What's lacking? What's the vision of us going forward? Where are we going? This is where we are going, right? I just happen to have I guess you would call her an old-fashioned wife, right? She's definitely old school in terms of how she follows my direction, right? And that's the dynamic that we have, right? And when she does have input, then we consider that input. We test that input. Same thing with my input. Consider it, test it. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do that? We figure it out. And then a lot of times we have to remove ourselves from each other and come back. So we have a fresh look at the situation. And so as a man, we're out here doing business, right? A lot of times we're out here doing work. We're putting in that work. And that same way we put in that work with the world and our business and what we're trying to do, the same, I'm putting in work right now. I put in work, writing notes, reading and meditating and praying, right? I don't just get on here and wing it. I mean, I do wing it, but there is some sort of a preparation, you dig, that happens. There is a purpose. There is a vision going forward, right? That vision is do it for love. And so it's this way of how you pin it, how you at work, and you might be a little bit aggressive at work. You might be a little bit, there's logic going on. There's service going on. There's customer service. There's this sort of reverence going on, right? There's order going on, and there's this right? Same thing. It's the same way I'm going to be penetrating my wife. You dig? And it's the same way. We don't get home and be like, and get all weak and this and that. No. The same tenacity we bring at the job site, whatever that is for you, is the same tenacity we bring at home, right? And so a lot of times it might look like you might have to do a circle around the block a few times to get your mind right. Hey, babe, I need about 10, 15 minutes. I need to get my mind right. Something's going on in my mind. I need to shake this real quick before I come home. You know what I mean? You might not even say that. You know what I mean? I'll be home at this time, right? Depends on where you are at in your relationship and where you're at in your masculinity. Will depend on how you speak to your wife. The next time you embrace your woman sexually, feel your ultimate desire, your deepest desire in life. Feel why you are doing anything at all in life, and specifically why you are uniting with your lover. There may be a lesser reason, but what is your deepest, ultimate reason? Most men, ultimate reason for doing anything has to do with their discovering their deepest truth, enjoying total freedom and love, and giving their fullest gifts. I'm telling you right now, for me, and you men, you know what the deal is. You know when you haven't been giving your fullest gift, when you haven't been fully engaged in your purpose and what it is you are doing, it's it's just that much more challenging to give anything to your woman, right? And we want to give that fullest. And the path that I'm on, I can't even, I don't have a choice. I honestly don't have a choice. And I'm not perfect, like I told you this before in other times where, I had a injury. I had an accident snowboarding, and which led me to the doctor, which led me to one of those table x-rays to scan my body. And when they got back to the results looking for one thing, they found something else. You dig? And what they found was an aggressive, rapid, nasty, what do you call that? Arthritis. To the point where the doctor was like, you have to exercise every single day. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice, because if you stop exercising, you'll basically just stiffen up, and it's all bad. And there are days where I will go, sometimes there's weeks I will go without exercising, and I can feel it. And then that's also eating right and water and my spiritual walk as well, mixed in with all of that. It's part of that. But I have to meet these things with my deepest purpose, right? And this is, a lot of times men will come to me like, oh man, how do I do this and how do I do that, and this and that, and my wife did this and da 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 da. I'm just like, hey, are you on your purpose? Exercise. If you can only do jumping jacks, do jumping jacks. If you can only jump rope, jump rope. If you can only do one push-up, do one push-up. Do something. Do something. You sneeze like this guy over here sneezing. I don't know what's going on. I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? Number one podcast in the neighborhood. Yeah. When a man gives his true gift of sex to his woman, he penetrates and blooms her beyond all limits into love. It is the same with the world. To bloom a woman in the world for real takes authenticity, persistence, and courage of heart. A man must know the truth at his core and be willing to give his gifts fully. No holding back. Man, come on, man. Everything in my being right now is holding me back from just busting, because I can't just be wrecking the whole thing, or else I got to buy all new equipment. You know what I mean? But if you ever have the privilege of seeing me live, I'm like, it's a sport. Me talking publicly is like a sport. I'm like that preacher that's running up and down the aisles and this, and that. I'm like that speaker that I just can't sit still. I can't. I tell this story all the time when I went to India to do a talk. And it was the first night was at this youth event that I spoke at. It was with high school and like college age. And there was at least 300 or 400 students there. And I'm like, they're like, oh, we want, here's a row where you can sit. We have a green room and this backstage. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I can't stay back here. I go nuts. I mean, I can if I need to, but I'm in India, number one. I've always wanted to be there. I can't believe I'm there. I'm excited to be there. Like, I'm overjoyed, and I'm ready to receive from them. I'm over here trying to give a speech, but I'm actually there. I flew there to receive from these guys. That's how I look at it. So I'm in the crowd, this and that. I'm talking. This is before the event happened. I'm out there playing pool, yeah, basketball and everything. I'm out there just working, right? And then I come back, and then I look at my notes. My notes are here, and then I read it, and I'm looking at them. I read the first verse, and then I'm off. I'm up and down. I'm everywhere. I can't sit still. But it's this thing where this book is just phenomenal, and to be consistent. What did it say? Consistent, persistent, and courage of heart. Have courage of heart. And a man must know his truth at his core and be willing to give his gifts fully, no holding back. I am not going to hold back. I'm going to be talking about issues, and I'm going to be talking about subjects that might get me canceled, that might get me this, and that. But, hey, it is what it is. You know, I told my wife, I said, I might be assassinated for the stuff I'm going to say in the future. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, this is what it is, man. I can't not tell the truth. I can't just hold this in. You dig? And so we go with in truth, and we do it for love. We do it for love. Let's see what the Bible says about this. I love this right here. Look at this. The greatest gift. Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. I may speak in tongues that are marvelous. I may be stuttering, you dig? Because that's what might happen. I may be talking as if I'm angelic. But if I have not love, it's just sounding brass and clanging cymbals. It's like a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old on a drum set that doesn't know how to play the drums. Okay, you got the picture. And though I have the gift of prophecy, which I do, and understand all mysteries, I don't understand all mysteries, but I know some. I have, and all knowledge. I don't have all knowledge, but I have some. And though I have all this faith so that I could remove and move mountains, but I have not love, I am nothing. I can do all these things and be great and all this stuff, but if I don't have love as a man, I'm nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be buried, but I have not love, it profits me nothing. This is in 1 Corinthians 13, by the way. 1 Corinthians 13, if you want to turn there and read along or whatever you want to do. All right, so verse 4, love suffers long, and it is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up or proud. Love does not behave rudely. It does not seek its own. It is not provoked. It doesn't think evil. Does not rejoice in iniquities or sin. Sin is what? What is sin really? It's being separated from God. But rejoices in truth. Bears all things. Believes in all things. Hopes for all things. And endures all things. Love never fails. Do it for love. I can stop this podcast right now. Done. Let's go back. So what is the definition of love? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Love suffers long. You might be going through it in your marriage. You might be going through it. So you're going to suffer long, meaning you might be discomforted. You might be uncomfortable, completely uncomfortable. You're suffering, right? Imagine what does suffering look like to you? You might be suffering. You might be in a relationship that you're not even supposed to be in. Hey. But you stay kind because love is kind. Love does not envy. I'm not envious of anything. I don't need to be envious. This tells me right here, I don't need to be envious. And because I'm not envious, because this tells me exactly what I should be doing as a man, I am not to be envious. So I can get on this Instagram, YouTube, social media, whatever. I can be around here and on this beautiful island. I'm not envious of nobody. I don't envy them. I don't need what they have. And because I don't need all that, I have more room now. I have more room to navigate and to build exactly what I can be on my purpose. If think about it. Think about it. If I'm just thinking about me, because you can think about yourself. I'm over here super envious of this person over here, because this guy over here, his house, I dig his house. His house is dope. He's got a dope setup. Everything is like, this is dope. It's not too big. It's not too small, right? It's just the right size. It's the right size of house. And he's got it, he's got the barbecue. It's simple, ready to go, gas ready to go, bop, always on tap, boom, ready to go, pool, boom, bop. He's got the fans and the twirly things going, and the lights, the space, right? It's great for entertainment. It's excellent for entertainment. The rooms are huge, right? I don't envy that guy, because if I'm envying this guy, then I don't have room to be on my purpose. You see how that works? I'm over here thinking about him, and him, and him, and him with they, him. Well, what they got? I gotta get it. Gotta look good. And all the while, and inside, I'm dying inside because I can't even be on my purpose. I'm on somebody else's purpose, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Come on now. Love does not parade itself. It's not puffed up. That's a hard one for me. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie. I just outed myself on that one. Oof, I work on that one, baby. Oh my goodness. It does not behave rudely. I can be rude sometimes. I gotta watch that. I gotta be careful of that. You dig? Does not seek its own. It's not about me. It's about community. It is not provoked. Doesn't think evil. Does not rejoice in sin or being separated from God. I don't rejoice in being separated from God, but I rejoice in the truth. That's a purpose that I need to be on. I want to rejoice in the truth. So I'm just reading, y'all. These are not even my words. I didn't make this up. This is not me. This is something that I am to be following. I am to be striving for. And it's not even about trying to strive for this thing. It's more so about this is a command almost. You dig? This is something that I have to be. I have to become this, no matter what. Oh, well, it's too hard. It's too hard. God is requiring me too much of me. Come on now. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll do it. And I just said it. So now I got accountability. Someone's gonna see this, be like, Mark, you better be on beep, beep, beep. And I'd be like, yes, I better be beep, 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 beep. Oh my goodness gracious. It's all good. I want to bear all things. And so with my wife, I believe that God gave her to me. I'm telling you right now, I can't even begin to explain to you what type of woman she is, because I sometimes don't believe it. I have to pinch myself, and I'm like, "Are you real? Are you serious? Are you serious right now?" Because I am old school. I'm definitely old school. I'm 47 years old. I am old school, but I've always lived like this as a kid. Even as a kid, I've always had that type of swag, that type of like old mindset. People used to make fun of me. People, you're no fun. You're always serious. I'm like, really? Oh man, I don't know who you. Dang. uh, but I've always had that like old school swag. Um, I like I like old things, right? It's just, I like ways of, I like the manly man, and me being a manly man, and my woman being a woman, a girl, like girly. I enjoy that. I'm not, there's a lot of guys out there that like the butches and the they like the manly woman. That's just not. I like the complete opposite of me. Right? That's what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to the opposite of who I am. Always have been. Always have been. And so, my wife and I, we complement each other in that way. We are opposites. And they say opposites attract. And maybe that's true. I don't know. I mean, it's true for us. We're definitely the opposite. And, she forces me to lead. She forces me to lead, not by her being aggressive or manly or, demanding or anything like that, but it's just like who she is. She, like, I can be, man, it's hard to explain, to be honest with you. But I give her instructions and she just follows. She just follows. And I don't know between, I mean, the only person that was like that I know of might be my grandmother. Maybe my grandmother. Maybe my grandma. I didn't necessarily boss my grandmother around, but I watched her interact with her family, us, and her husband. And I never saw her complain. Today, that's pretty much all I see. But with her, she didn't complain, and she was doing the work. She had a job, and she took care of us at home, and she took care of her husband, which my grandpa, her husband, lived at a different house because he was paraplegic. Am I saying that right? Paraplegic. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, he was only can use his fingers, his face, I guess his waist, I guess the leg from the legs down, and his hands, barely. He had an accident, put him in a wheelchair, and so he lived at like an assisted living home that wasn't too far away from our house. It wasn't too far, so that's where we would go. We'd go there for birthday parties. We'd have all of our birthday parties over, not all of them, but most of the birthday parties over there, hanging out. It was in a regular neighborhood with a cul-de-sac, and she would be over there. She'd come out to work, and then the weekend she would be over there hanging out. Sundays after church, she'd be over there hanging out. And he didn't go to church with her. He usually stayed home. I stayed at his house. But that's how I grew up. I think up until he got hurt at 9, when I was like 9 or 10 or something like that. And yeah, I miss my grandpa. I love him. He was an example of a man, and I don't know if he was. I hear stories, and I don't know if he was a great man or the best leader. But by the time that I came along, he had changed a lot of his ways. I saw him in a fight once. I don't even know if it was a fist fight. It was, yeah, he got drunk, and they had to hold him back, and he was a rager, and that scared me, which I think is good, because I told myself in that moment, I said, man, nope, I don't ever want to get like this. I don't want to be like that. And then my mom was the same way. When she was around, she was hardly around. She only came around for money. But when it was loud. A lot of arguments. Yeah. Family drama, man. We got, boy, oh boy, oh boy. But it's all good. And so, hey, you got to suffer long, got to be kind. That's what love is, you dig? And so, with my wife, she allows me to be 100% man. Like, this woman, it's crazy, right? My wife has never, she's never nagged. If she did nag or did argue, it was because I was arguing and I was yelling. Then she'd bite back. I was like, oh, okay. So you're not this timid. Oh, you know how to bite back. Okay, you know how to fight too. Okay, And I wasn't the best person. I wasn't the best man. I'm not the man that I am today. I wasn't always like that. Because I just didn't know. I had no instruction. You think growing up in the church, you think you would have instruction, but for some reason it didn't stick. I don't know. who knows, man? But it's sticking now, and I respect that. I really respect that and honor that. Um, yeah, that's dope. Okay, making sure I had volume. Let me just see. I always get nervous. Like, do I got volume? There you go. So yeah, and love never fails. So even if I'm in love, walking in love, moving in love, doing it for love, right? And I don't necessarily know all the little details of what I'm supposed to be doing. I know that if I can just do this, that love never fails, right? And the verse continues, love never fails. But whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Prophecies will eventually end. Whether there are tongues, right, they will cease. Whether there is knowledge, it will vanish away. For we know in part, and we know and we prophesy in part. Meaning that these things are going to go. It doesn't matter because I do have that gift, but it doesn't. Those things don't matter if I don't have love. It just doesn't. It doesn't make no sense. And I like this part too in verse 11. It says, "When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see in mirror, dimly, but then face to face." Meaning what? For now we see in a mirror, we see mirror ourselves, the likeness, right? The image of God. It's an image, and this is what I'm talking about. Where we are love. God is love. So there we are. We should be demonstrating this, right? It's a mirror dimly, but then, meaning the afterlife, we will see him face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know just as I also am known. So we're talking about intimacy here. Intimacy is knowing and being known, right? And so for those that believe in God, they have this relationship, but they've never actually seen God. They've seen themselves in the mirror in that image, made in the image of them. And so um, you have this, you will be face to face at one point in time, at a certain time. Now I know in part, partial things, but then at that time when it comes, I shall know as I am known. And that is true intimacy. God brings forth true intimacy. Intimacy is being known and being known and knowing. That is intimacy. And that is what we are practicing in our relationship, in our marriage. We are not perfect. We are guided by Jehovah, Yahweh, Jah, God. And somebody asked me, "Are you a Christian, Mark?" I said, "No." They said, "What?" I'm flabbergasted. How dare you? How dare? What church do you attend? Who do you fellowship with? I said, "What church? I am the church. We have 6 members, myself, and then the rest of my family." Um, that's where we go to church, right? Um, every day, and I I'm a believer of the man is the leader. I believe in the godship order. I try to follow that as much as possible. And it's not easy. You dig? It's not easy, but I believe in it. That's what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Actually, we're gonna talk about that, um, the headship and stuff like that. Because I say that, I almost say it reluctantly, because it's definitely not practiced in today's world. It's not. It's about partnership, right? And I don't believe in partnership in terms of what the world says partnership. 50-50. Nah, I'm gonna bring my 100. You're gonna bring your 100, right? Um, and we're gonna bring our best, right? We're gonna bring our best. We're not gonna bring half-ass shit. Bring your best. Bring your A game. I bring my A game, and that's how I live. You know, um, I believe that I'm basically rededicating myself to the Word of God. And until I'm called, until I am have that particular understanding, um, that's just is what it is. So, um, I am a student, and that's kind of the way I see the Bible, right? And I'm looking at the Bible, I'm reading the Bible, and that's a study that I'm doing right now. We're doing an in-depth study of relationships, marriage. We're gonna be talking about it all of it, all all, everything, 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 everything. We're talking about it, because I believe that, um, in what God has called me to do, um, and who He's called me to be, I am all man, um, and I can't run from that. You dig? Um, and I was afraid of that for so long because of the spirit of really it was a spirit of Astra. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Um, it's a spirit. What is that? Is it Astra? How do you spell that? Yeah, Ashtaroth. I think that's how you say that. And because of that spirit, attaching itself to the church, and many of its congregants, I decided to leave, um, because I didn't know something was off. Something was just off, and um, I didn't want to be a part of that, and so I left. Um, and I'm not dissing the church. This and that. Um, I just am in a deep, 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 deep biblical study, and God has called me. It was prophesied, to me twice, two different times, two different areas by two different sets of people that I did not know. Um, and if I can get through this without crying, that would be awesome. But the first was two Israelites, two Arab guys, that were Christian. Um, they were raised, in a different culture, different religion, and they became Christian. Um, and they said, two, God is sending you two, not one, but two, that will be following you into the promised land. Um, and then that's all they said, pretty much. And then actually there was three guys, three sets of people. The first guy, who was an occult leader, an ex occult leader, who became Christian, um, was raised in the cult in San Francisco and L.A. back and forth. He became a prince within this, um, cult, and we became friends. And I need to see how he's doing. Yeah, and we became friends, and he said, you think that you're broken, but the potter can take those pieces that have been discarded, been thrown away, or put to the ground because they weren't needed for a specific piece of art, if you will. The potter can retake those pieces, heat them up, remold them, and put them back together to build something great. And he can do that for you. You dig? Come on, man. I'm about to, let's go. And then I was in LA, and I went to this. I say this story because it blows my mind. It's crazy. I'm still like a child when I hear this story. I say it, but I'm saying it like I'm telling myself, like, wow, really? I'm in LA, and these guys, long story short, they said God is he's sending you two to send you to to bring you to the promised land. Two, not one, but two. Could be more, but two. Could be more. And you're going to go back to the church, but the church will reject you. They will not want you there. I said, well, that's refreshing. Jeez. At the time, I said, the way they approached me, it was a couple. They said, do you know who you are? I said, yeah. I said, but do you know? I said, yeah, I know. And so when they were talking about the two, I said, I already know that. I didn't say it like that, but I was just saying, like, yes, I know. He's like, you know, you're going to go back to the church and they're going to reject you. I said, that part I didn't know. Is it because you're going to be, and I said, why are they going to reject me? Because you're going to tell them the truth. You're going to talk about the truth. And today, I've been introduced to something that is, that prophecy is being fulfilled today. It just happened today in my study. And it's that there's a spirit of Lilith, there's a spirit of Ashroth, and there's a bunch more. Baal, but there was these gods that were not, as Christians, as believers in Jehovah. Like for Solomon, he was a believer in God, and he wasn't supposed to be taking in all this stuff. But what he was doing was he was marrying. He already had multiple wives, and he was marrying these women, and he allowed these women to infiltrate his kingdom, basically, with these lies that were told to him. Don't build anything, an altar. Don't do anything with this type of spirit and this type of wood. And I'm very new at this, so this is just from my understanding. I'm just barely scratching the surface. So I'm gonna get stuff wrong, and we'll say it until we get it right. And so Solomon, people think, well, it's because he had 1,000 wives. He wasn't in God's will. Oh, he was in God's will. He got out of God's will because he started worshiping his wives' gods that were not the one true God. That was his downfall. You got to read the scriptures. You guys got to do this study. But I know, be like, I don't need to do study. Someone told me that before. I don't need to read. I don't need to read. I don't need to study. I'm like, okay, we're not talking to you anymore. But yeah, so I was gonna go in, and that's what the spirit of Ashtaroth has infiltrated into the church. Most churches that you go to, I can walk into any church right now today, and that spirit is going to be there. Unfortunately, Most preachers don't even know about it because they're so worried about their money, and they're so worried about their keeping their congregation. I don't have a congregation. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I'm just a guy who's reading the Bible. I'm just a student. That's it. That's all I am. Just a student. Barely. I'm in the first grade of the Bible. And so they were talking to me, this couple in Los Angeles, and so that was, I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe. I don't even remember, but it was it was some time ago, and it just now, I got woken up basically, and I know now why I won't be why I will not be accepted into churches, and this is why I have this platform as well. We are talking about relationships. This has a lot to do with relationships, because we are not properly doing relationships. Even if I take away the religious and the spiritual aspect of it, we're not doing it in the proper way. We're just not. Because we're too influenced. We're too influenced, and we're too wishy-washy. And that's not my purpose. My purpose is not to be this way, this wishy-washy way. And so I'm saying this as accountability. I'm saying this to myself. This is the first time I even mentioned any of this stuff. And I'm here to correct relationships and the way we do relationships and bring order to that, because there is no order right now. It is chaos. It's unruly and it's chaos. Because there's no order, and it's going to be damn near impossible to bring forth this. And so it's definitely not going to be me. It's going to have to be God. And I'm still battling. I'm still struggling with it, because I'm just like, I don't want to do it, to be honest with you. I don't want to do it. Because I'm just like, this is too hard. It's too hard. But I'm saying it to be committed and have what do you call that? Accountability. And we'll see how it goes, you know. I think my prayer is to just protect my children and protect my wife. I could be sniped and murdered and tortured. That's all good. Just not my family. You dig? Just not my family. I can take it. And even if I can't, I have to, as the leader. But it's basically like the churches are in sin, because they accepted these Baal gods into their church, and that was supposed to be God's house, and they've defiled it, and people think like, oh well, there's, well, if you have an orgy, that's that, and you have, you have brought, you brought an orgy into your marriage bed, that's defiling God. Probably, right? I mean, if you're doing that, yeah. If you're not, yes, that would be. But equivalent to that is them bringing other gods into the house of God, and you didn't even let people know. You just brought it in, and you started teaching stuff that it's not accurate. And so I would say this is day one. This would be day one, right? And this is just the journey that it's on now. This is the journey that I'm on right now. And it has, it's funny because, yeah, we're gonna get into some stuff, man. We're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking about all of this, man. How, there's a passage. I'm not gonna read it now, but we're gonna be talking about how you choose to get married under God. You can get married to the state, and that is what it is, right? And I tell you right now, if I know what I know today, right now, I would not have gotten married to the state or through the state. Really, you married the state because you gave your certificate of marriage. What is that? That's not of God. That's of the state. Not saying you shouldn't do that, but people need to know what that is, right? And so, and there's no honor in that. That's a Greco-Roman act that you did, which is extremely pagan. But I don't want to get a divorce because it's like I wouldn't get a divorce. I would divorce the state in a minute, but I can't do. That's why it's so much money. Cheap to get married, expensive to get divorced. It's all set up by the Greco-Romans, and they did that so that they can the government and they did that under this spirit of Ashroth, right? Again, like I said, I'm still learning. Go look it up. Read. You do your own research. But I'm at the beginning stages, so I'm just kind of like, okay, this is making sense. Okay, you got the spirit over here. You got Lilith, which is Lilith is like. I mean, I have my guy, Gabe, who can talk circles around me, around this, around me. He's got the knowledge, man. He's got this Jewish guy. He's been on here before, and he'll be on here again for sure. And so you have all these different things, and when you get married, you're now subject. I can't deny, right? The Bible talks about my body is my wife's and my wife's body is mine. I can't deny her pleasure or sexual acts, right? And there's a lot of men that do that, right? Because it's usually because they're watching tons of porn, and they kind of lose the fire, right? Or they're out there actually cheating, which actually would be better than watching porn, right? But then if they're cheating with a married woman, then it's even worse, right? Because then you're like David, right? Where you have David was proper and right, but then he had multiple wives, but then he wanted to go off and get somebody else's wife, and then he got the guy killed. Like, come on, man, you know what I mean, bruh? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, don't mess it up. You got a good thing going, bro. Don't mess it up. And so I never actually knew that. I never knew that. I never knew that the man is subject to his wife as far as sexual acts and stuff like that. It never dawned on me, and I don't ever remember reading that. But as I'm diving in more, I'm just at that place right now where I can actually receive this information. And that was something new to me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right. Right. I dig that. But then there's also headship, God, man, wife. And that doesn't get talked about because your preacher wants, he wants in that pulpit, he wants to be, I might, if I say that, I'm going to lose all the women, and the women is bringing the money to the storehouse, baby. The women, that's where the women at, because they're single, they ain't got shit. You know what I mean? All they got is the church. That's all they got. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh man, don't say that, because then now they got to go find a man, and there's hardly any men in church now. You know what I'm saying? It's all women now, mostly women, or they're already married. Folks is already married and whatnot. You know, um, that'd be a trip though. That'd be a trip. What if we brought that back? What would that look like biblically? You know what I mean? Proper. What if we brought proper relationships back? Man, that would be nice. You know what I'm saying? And that's my purpose. My purpose in life is relationships. That's what it is. It's not to I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But I want to get there. I want to get to that point. You know what I mean? And I don't want to I'm not the prophecies and this and that and da 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 da. I'm not a good man follower, or human. I'm not a great follower of men and stuff. It's very challenging for me, And so when God says this, love suffers long, then that's what I need to do. I need to do that. I need to be kind. I don't need to envy. Love does not envy. Okay, let's read that again. Love does not envy. So then I don't have envy. That's how love suffers long. Okay, that's what I need to. I'm gonna do that. Love is kind. I'm gonna do that. Love does not envy. I'm gonna do that. Love does not pride itself or parade itself around. I'm not puffed up and boastful, walking around like, oh, I got love. I'm better than you. Nah, not even, homie. Does not behave rude. I don't need to be rude. Okay, I'm not trying to be rude. And so we need to have these different mindsets, right? We need to change our mindset to this. This is what Mark is. This is what I'm trying to do. This right here. If I could do nothing else, that is what I want. If I can't do anything else, I'm gonna do this right there. If I can't do anything else, I'm gonna do that because I'll never fail. You dig? And so we are going to go on a journey. This is going to be an amazing journey. So much of this is new to me. This is all new, to be honest with you. This is all new. Yes, I was raised in the church. Yes, I've been a pastor before. I am still a leader to my family. Still a leader. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to be that leader, how to guide, right? And it's not that the Bible even talks about that as the woman is the weaker vessel. Doesn't mean that she's weak, meaning that she doesn't have like a voice and she can't go out there and do the things that my wife's a stronger swimmer. She's actually has a degree. You know what I mean? Like she retains and understands things when she reads it way better than I do. She just gets it. She just gets it. I have to read things 50,000 times to even get it. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm just now talking about the way of the superior man. I've already read the book 5, 6, 7 times, and still, you know what I mean. I have read the Bible twice. I think twice, maybe 3 times, but safely I can say twice, from one cover to the front to the back, and still, you know, I never read that. What I just said, I don't know exactly what I got a whole. I got pages of scriptures and notes and stuff like that I'm creating, and then I'm borrowing from somebody else, and then, you know, because we're when I say we're talking about it all, we are going to talk about it all. Porn, lust, what do you call that? Fornication, adultery. See, these things, honestly, I never knew. Look at adultery. Just, I don't really know that much about it, but there's different. When you look at the Hebrew, when you look at the original, it's different. it's different. There's a feminine version, there's a masculine version, and I got to talk to my boy Gabe, because he's Jewish actually, and so he knows, these things. And so, yeah, it's a cool study that I'm gonna be getting into. But this is all new. This is a new journey for me. And it's not even about like how I'm starting off and how it is. It's not necessarily about like, oh, I'm a Bible thumper. I'm looking at it all. I'm looking at it all. All of it. Right? And so it's going to be a forever thing. I'm not even going to finish. This study will never be finished. Because I'm probably going to die before it's over, to be honest with you. And yeah, it is what it is. I appreciate you tuning in. And I hope you come along with me on this journey. I'm a student, you dig? And so, as we leave each other, as we go our separate ways for now, go in peace, go in knowledge, go in understanding, but most of all, go in love. Go in love. And yeah, I learned a new word today. It's Mia. It's in the Hebrew. It's Mia, meaning first. It's a plural meaning. There's a plural to it, and it talks about that in the Bible, in Timothy and Titus and Timothy, Titus, and 1 Corinthians maybe. And it talks about what I said about the deacons having one wife and you being of service to this woman, and I think that's what keeps me grounded. So it keeps me locked in, right? It's not because I don't love my wife. I love my wife. I will always love my wife. And this gives me a great example. I'm suffering long. And it's not that I'm suffering with her. I'm not suffering with her at all. I feel like in the beginning of our marriage, we were definitely suffering. Now we're not suffering. It's just the season that we're in. We did our suffering in the beginning, now we're on in this different stage because we have understanding, we have understanding, and she just lets me be a man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man. Because she understands that I'm the one giving. I'm the one that is receiving from God, and then I pass that information to her, if you will, as far as the leadership is concerned. And then together we're over the children. We're to guide these children. And we're going to be talking about different cultures and stuff and the types of relationships. And we're going to get into some African stuff that I just learned. I just was like, I didn't even learn anything today. I just was introduced like this. And we're going to get involved in that, learning about that. I'll share some stuff I won't share. Because I think this information is too good. I don't even want to share it publicly. You have to be like a private, in the private Discord to really grasp it, because this is going to be intense. This is going to be intense. And I'm ready. I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Yeah. That's exciting. It's exciting. Anyway, peace. Peace be with you.